Hey everyone, it's Game Fruit Pulp and welcome back to another Building Toronto video. Today's video we're going to be looking at everything that has been built off camera since the completion of the RBC Tower, or the RBC Plaza, with the exception of the Toronto Dominion building right here, which we already did a video on. So there's been a lot of little things that have been done that I haven't really looked at or done a video on, so I figured I could do a video with all of that stuff in now, and so that everyone's sort of caught up to speed on all the stuff that has been done. That way, when we move forward on the bigger builds, the smaller, more detailed stuff that I think really makes this project unique thing won't be forgotten. So the first thing we're going to look at is Bay Street. So Bay Street has been continued south of Front here. So this goes into a tunnel just for further stuff. So it goes into a tunnel which goes under railway tracks. So this has been done. This goes over here into the GO Station bus terminal. So for those of you who don't know, GO Transit is the transit authority or the transit organization for the province of Ontario, which is obviously the province that Toronto is in. And so the bus terminal for Toronto for the public transit is over here. So that'll be done soon. Maybe next video. Haven't really decided yet. I think I know what next video is, but just in case, that'll be done in the next couple videos for sure. And then down here is Yonge Street. Same deal. The tunnel, which has to be done in the future, goes under the railway tracks. So Yonge comes up here to Front, which is an interesting intersection because I did this the best I could. The roads are all kind of weird. It's not a square intersection. So because Front Street kind of angles up like this, the road kind of is like a weird trapezoidal shape. So it took a little while to get this to work correctly, but I think I got a pretty good match to what it is in real life. This road, Front Street, turns into another street name, which I forget the name of it, but it turns into a different street name and becomes one way down here. We're working on that eventually. There's a theater over here and a building over here. I think it's a tall building. I can't really remember. But anyways, we'll be doing that in the future as well. But for now, my focus at least was on this block here. So the block that is Bay, Front, Yonge, and Wellington. And so this block, as you can see from the backs of the buildings, we've made some pretty good progress on it. Most of what's required to do now is just the interior and the roofing. But we'll go over all the buildings kind of one by one, just so you guys can see everything. There isn't any historic stuff about any of these buildings, at least that I could find. So there's nothing really to go over in that regard. So I figured we'll just go through them all one by one, and we'll make it daytime because might as well. So we started off, or the last video before the Toronto Dominion Tower, we looked at the Hockey Hall of Fame, which you can see here connects right into this building here. And so this building is just the entrance to Brookfield Place. And Brookfield Place, if you remember, is that white part over here. So that white part continues over to here. There's a big courtyard in this area. And then from there, there's just a little, like a restaurant in the corner and that kind of stuff. So everything in this block is connected, which is something that's pretty interesting, with the exception of that building there, this CIBC building. Everything else in this block is connected. So it's going to make for a unique interior work, but this is the only entrance off of Yonge Street into the building, directly into the building. Obviously, there's entrances into stores. I believe this is a clothing store, like a suits store. I should look at the buildings as I go by them. And then from here, everything from here on to the corner is a restaurant. And so the restaurant could be fun to do the interior on, just because it is going to be, it's an interesting restaurant in the sense that it's kind of like a buffet place. And so the restaurant's very spread out. So it could be an interesting project to try and do on the, are all the doors missing? No. Okay, I just forgot some doors. An interesting project to do on a recording. But this is sort of the progress of the street as it comes down to here. Now this intersection hasn't been done yet. I should actually make this stone, so I'll do that right now. So the intersection comes to here. This is Wellington, and so obviously, as you can see, the road curves and the restaurant continues around the corner, a little bit down and then up into here, until then here it switches over to just like a random, I think it's another clothing store if I remember correctly. But it is interesting, and the roof line for these builds will be interesting because they kind of vary. So these two buildings here, all this nether brick has this interesting roof line with windows on it that I'm actually not doing. Starbound's going to be doing them. That's why they're not done yet. But these are all at the same height as these builds. And then the corner build here is flat down to this level. It's a flat roof. So it's an interesting roofing line as well, this whole thing. So once it comes together, it should be looking pretty unique. But I thought that I would just kind of make facades almost, just to start. because I think I thought it would be a good way to start, a good way to get sort of a good idea of what the street will look like from the curb and go from there. And so as you can see, there's all these different types of buildings. So even though these I think were all built around the same time, I couldn't really find any information on it. It's pretty interesting to see how even though they're connected, there's all these different unique building styles. So like even here, it went from like that limestone build to like a red kind of clay or stucco looking thing, and then to a red brick that wasn't quite regular brick. So I went with nether brick, but it wasn't quite nether brick either. It was kind of in between. So it's like an interesting how all of these builds, even though they're all connected, you think they'd all have some sort of cohesion. They're all pretty different. And so I think that that's one of the cool features about this block and a lot of this old Toronto area in general is that there's a lot of variance in the builds, even though they're connected. And so the last thing that I've done on this part is the parking garage. Down here is a parking garage, obviously above his offices. So what we'll have to do in the future videos is bring this down and work on a little bit of interior for that, not the full thing. I did use concrete powder. We are in 1.12 now, so I was able to use some of the new blocks, and the one I used here was the light gray concrete powder. And so because of that, because concrete powder follows gravity, I needed to put barrier blocks. So we can't actually access this parking garage, so I'm not going to go too hard on the details since you can't even get in it. But this is actually to height. On the Google map, I was looking at it, there's a little bar that they put in parking garages to make sure your car won't hit the ceiling, like a warning bar. And on the warning bar, it says caution, maximum height 6'4". And so 6'4" is actually about this height. I'm 6'5", and so Steve, or in this character, I guess Game Fruit Pulp, but the Steve model is actually a little bit shorter than that. And so it's not 100% to scale because Steve is 2 blocks. I think he's 2 meters tall, which wouldn't make sense. But is he 2 meters tall? Actually, let me test that. How tall is he? Is he exactly 2 meters? No, he's just under 2 meters, as you can see. So this is not 100% to scale, but it would be cutting into, if I was me, if this character was 6'4" like I am, then it would be realistic where you would hit your head on this barrier, which is why I chose to do it like that. So then from here, what we have to do in the next video will probably be a speed build, is a skyscraper very similar to this one, just wider and not as tall. That goes up here, connects to Brookfield Place, which is why I stopped Brookfield Place there, and connects right to this building. So the building we have to do will connect all the way to here, and then there's a little weird gap thingy over in this corner. It'll be about 4 or 5 blocks. But aside from that, that's the entire city block. And so what we're going to do for the next video is off camera. I'm going to do the first floors up to here of the next building, and so that building will come up to here. And then from there, we'll do a speed build of the rest of the building because it's all pretty much the same. I think it'll go pretty quickly. It'll work well for a speed build. And then after that, I think we'll be able to finish this block completely and start working on the next one, which will be pretty exciting. I guess the only other thing to show you guys is that because 1.12 is out and on the server, I'm able to fix some stuff. So this stuff, if you remember when I did this video, I said once 1.12 comes out, I'll be using these blocks, the concrete blocks, which I am, and this has been switched to an actual black block instead of the coal block, which looks a lot better as well. The last thing that I kind of wanted to have for you guys is a poll, and so the poll is going to be which of these blocks you want the road to be. So I'm kind of, because of these new blocks, I've been kind of experimenting. I'm kind of torn. Actually, there's one more block I should add. The light gray concrete. Where is it? Is that light gray? That's light gray? I thought it was brighter than that. Oh, it is. Okay. Never mind. So I guess it's between these 4. There's the concrete powder, the gray concrete, the light gray concrete, and the stone. Which one do you guys think is best? I have my preference, but I don't want to tell you it in case it'll kind of change your opinions. And I want to get the best opinion, and I'll kind of change it as that is sort of represented. But I think all of them look okay. I don't really like this one, so I hope that this is not the one you guys say. I think this is too dark. It looks good if every road was freshly paved, but none of the roads in downtown Toronto are freshly paved, so that wouldn't really work. But aside from that, I mean, there's also not slabs, which is another issue for any of these blocks. But aside from that, that is everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. If you want to come and check out the world for yourself, feel free to come on. We have a Townie server, which actually has this world attached to it. So if you want to join, the IP is anitsycraft.net. It will be in the description of the video, and all you have to do is type in /warp Toronto, and then you'll be teleported here, and you can fly around and check out the progress. Aside from that, if you're a returning viewer and you enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button and the favorite, and share the channel with some of your friends. And I'll catch you guys Monday with probably in a Neatsy Craft video. Aside from that, hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Game Fruit Pulp, and I will catch you guys all later. Have a good one.